Now to this, the man convicted of giving Angels baseball player Tyler Skaggs illegal drugs is sentenced to more than 2 decades in prison. The pitcher died of an overdose in 2019. KCAL 9's Joy Benedict explains why today's sentence went above the mandatory minimum.
Tyler Skaggs is ready to go.
He was a pinpoint pitcher and hometown favorite. But in 2019, Tyler Skaggs became the face of an epidemic after being found dead of a drug overdose in a Texas hotel room. And Tuesday, the man convicted of giving him illegal drugs was sentenced to 22 years in prison.
The 20 years was to be expected.
Stanley Goldman teaches criminal law at Loyola Marymount.
If you provide drugs to someone and they die from those illegal, dangerous drugs, there's a minimum mandatory federal sentence for when you're convicted of those crimes of 20 years.
The Angels player died in July of 2019. Arrested was fellow Angels employee Eric Kay. He was convicted earlier this year of drug distribution resulting in death and drug conspiracy after giving Skaggs a pill thought to be oxy but contained fentanyl.
These laws, with respect to the 20-year minimum here, were passed in a period of time in which legislators were kind of falling over themselves to try to show themselves to be tough on crime.
Do we think that the celebrity status of the man who died played a factor into the sentence?
There was no question that the high-profile nature of cases, in my opinion, sometimes, in my opinion, affects whether the feds decide to handle the case in federal court or whether to decide to leave it for state authorities.
The Skaggs family released a statement saying the sentencing wasn't about the number of years Kay received, and went on to say the real issue in this case is holding accountable the people who are distributing the deadly drug fentanyl. It is killing tens of thousands of people every year in our country and destroying families along with it. We will continue the fight to hold responsible those who allowed Kay to provide a deadly drug to Tyler.
As Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, you might as well hang 1 out of every 1,000 thieves to discourage people from stealing.
And is that basically what's happened here?
Well, it's possible.
Kay was sentenced to 22 years, which is 2 years more than the mandatory minimum. The judge says he added on the extra time because of remarks that Kay made about Skaggs after being convicted showed that he wasn't remorseful. Joy Benedict, KCAL 9 News.